We have returned. So there's a really interesting conversation going on. I'm gonna play Fallout and try and talk about this at the same time. There's a really interesting conversation or series of conversations about game taxonomy that are happening in chat right now, and I wanted to kind of address or talk about this stuff. So, game taxonomy is an interesting thing because you got to remember. Okay, so it's used primarily for two purposes. Well, three, but primarily for two with a third option. Taxonomy of games. So what I mean by that is, like, what is this game? What is Fallout? Is Fallout an RPG? Is Fallout a first-person shooter? What kind of game is this? And we use these terms to sell games. That's one way in which games get discussed taxonomically. Another way is for us to review games, which is sort of a subsection of selling games, right? Is a game the kind of game I might like? Oh, well, I really like role-playing games, so I'm going to like or not like this game accordingly. And then finally we use them to purely for intellectual purposes to categorize games, to know what kind of game a game is, so that we can understand things about that game. And now that I've killed these raiders, I can take a second to talk about it. So, what was brought up was, like, what kind of game is this? Is it a first-person shooter? Is it a role-playing game? And I think that while yes, it's important to look at how we categorize games. I think that a game can be more than one thing, which both helps and hinders its use as a term, right? So, like, I would argue that, yeah, Fallout. Like, look at it. Look, just look. Look at the interface. Look at the HUD. Look at the way that I'm playing this game. It's a first-person shooter by definition of all three of those terms. We play in the first person, and we shoot things. It also contains, several hallmarks of the first-person shooter genre. We have. That's cool. You look at it and you can tell. It's like that old adage about pornography, right? Like, I know it when I see it. If you showed someone this game without explaining any of the elements, just what we're looking at right now, that whole sequence I just had with, like, blowing up the raiders, it's a first-person shooter. But then that's just surface stuff, right? That's just, yes, first-person shooting. So in a literal sense, that taxonomy applies. But there's understated stuff that goes into how you taxonomize a game too, and that's where the kind of pornography element comes from, where you're like, well, first-person shooters don't involve character advancement. You get better gear maybe, but you don't necessarily advance as a character. But then what about first-person shooters where you do? What about Call of Duty, where in multiplayer you get experience? Is it a role-playing game now? What defines role-playing games, right? The things that make this an RPG, persistent character, focus on an overarching narrative, ability to gain character advancement or change in a sort of D&D style way. I think that those are placeholders for things that we know an RPG to be. There are some people who call Legend of Zelda an action RPG because there's, like, inventory management and that kind of stuff. Personally, I don't care about taxonomy. This is this is the political side of me and the sort of queer side of me that rejects taxonomy even in video games, where I'm like, fuck it, it's Fallout 4. It doesn't matter what kind of game it is. All that really matters is it a good game? Do I like it? you know, tell me about the actual gameplay. Don't waste my time giving me taxonomies. The other thing that I think is really interesting as a sort of discussion point for, I like that he died and dropped all his gear off the edge. As a discussion point for video games is intent. So if a creator tells me this game is a puzzle, let's say the creator of Hotline Miami were to say this game is a puzzle game. Would you believe them because they created the game? Do they get to just decide what kind of game it is? If the creator of Rock Band were to tell you that their game was a fighting game, would you care? Would it matter? That's something that I think you see in relationship politics a lot, in sex and gender. And it crosses over when you're trying to taxonomize anything. Is someone's opinion of a thing that they are or created valid simply because they created it? Simply because they are the ones that get to say what a thing is? Is it the same for video games, or are video games different because they're a creative endeavor? Because they're literally something being created. Ultimately, like, yeah, it's all shorthand. But we often use this shorthand not to become included in a thing, but we become, ew, meat bag, gross. We use these terms to exclude things, to say, oh, well, it's a first-person shooter, so it's going to be terrible because I hate first-person shooters, right? We don't say it's a first-person shooter with role-playing game elements to get more people to play the game. That's what marketing is for, right? Role-playing games like tabletop RPGs do this all the time. They market stuff very poorly by not recognizing the strengths of a particular game. This is where that whole idea of games sort of lying to the people that want to play them, the idea that you can play any kind of game you want with Dungeons & Dragons, which is exclusively not true. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Labels and looking at things as a certain type of thing is something that the human brain does. We're built for pattern recognition. And so I think that while it's interesting to say, yeah, Fallout is a first-person shooter, and to make the intellectual, sorry, pup, make the intellectual distinction between an FPS and an RPG, think about why we're doing it, right? I really hate the idea that a role-playing game is a game about story, because Call of Duty is a game about story. Fucking Monopoly is a game about story. I was saying in chat earlier, any game in which you play the role of a character and interact with the world in the way that character would interact with it, you're playing a role-playing game, man. Tetris is not a role-playing game, but you know, a lot of board games are by the strictest definition role-playing games. It's why I hate story game as a term, because so story game is calling a game a story game is traditionally a title that's put onto narratively focused or fiction first tabletop RPGs in a way to distinguish them from things like Dungeons and Dragons, and I often see it used as an exclusionary term in a way to say that, well, like, oh, well, the role-playing games you play, they're not about story, they're about, I don't know, some other bullshit. And taxonomy that's used to exclude is taxonomy I don't want to be a part of. Fuck you, Scaver. Oh my god, that guy was behind me the whole fucking time. Well, good work, codpiece. Okay, fighting our way through Raider territory. It's working out much better this time. I think labels are good for recognizing... Okay, when we can all agree on a label, which as a culture almost never happens, right? There's just too many people. Like if I can sit down with my friends, or I mean, look at it, there's 300 people in chat right now, right? if these 300 people can all more or less agree on what a particular term means, we can use that term safely. We can use that term to describe stuff. So if we can all say, if we can all say that this game is a role-playing game, then we can talk about why the game is a role-playing game, right? We can create a culture of understanding around that very specific term, which is really hard to do. Yeah, there's a lot of really interesting thought in sort of how that stuff works. Eric, I know that you're a user of the term story games, which is cool, because I think that it means to you maybe a different thing that it does to me, but terms and taxonomy get caught up in culture, and the way that people use terminology, like story game, like I've seen story game used as a means of exclusion much more often than, wow, this is really gross. As a means of exclusion rather than a means of inclusion, way more often than I'd like. And so for me, the term's culture has become kind of toxic, right? Like it's not a term that I like using for that reason. In the same way that I think that calling a game an FPS, calling Fallout an FPS is a way to talk shit about it, to be able to be like, oh, it's not a real RPG, it's just an FPS. I find to be a frustrating use of that taxonomy. Fundamentally, like, terminology like that should really only be used to help us understand a thing, not to dismiss it outright or otherwise. I mean, I think this is a thing that we could very easily have like a long conversation about, as a group of people, to say like, okay, let's talk about game taxonomy. Let's talk about the way that we describe games, because a lot of the time, this stuff gets down to shit like calling things not a game at all. You see it in role-playing games where people are like, oh, Microscope's not a role-playing game. Someone once said Dungeon World was not a role-playing game. You see it in a walking simulator as a term, right? Saying, well, this game, let's say, like Gone Home. Gone Home's not a game, which people try to pass off as being like, oh well, no, I'm just trying to taxonomize, right? I'm just trying to understand the game, but what it really means is it's not a game. Disregard it. Throw it out. It doesn't get to belong to games. There's a lot of gatekeeping that goes into that stuff. Games that people don't feel comfortable including as part of the canon of games. That stuff's really harmful to gaming culture in general. Okay, so this is where these fucking robots have their asshole friends around the corner. Staggering pipe rifle. I want it. What's my chances to take it? I'm gonna save. Give me your staggering pipe rifle. Thank you.
And serve.
Where's that guy keeping that fucking rifle? Oh, Bjorn, good advice. Maybe they won't shoot me if I put my gun away. Oh, they're not even out here this time. What the hell? Cool. Alright. Fuck you guys. I need my gun now. I mean, yeah, okay, so Miss Venture makes a related point. Gone Home might not be the best example because I think that Gone Home was called not a game for a lot of reasons, some of which were misogynistic, because that kind of terminology, that like, oh, it's not a game, gets leveraged at, like, women creators a lot because there are independent game creators, women game creators, who have been taking risks, creating games that are not typical of most people's game experience, and people who are threatened by the idea of a game that doesn't make sense to them or a game that confuses them will often use this isn't even a game as a way to exclude those people. And there's misogynistic undertones to that stuff sometimes, not all the time, obviously. Sometimes calling something not a game is like a real thing you can like leverage at a game, but I don't think in Gone Home's case it was a good example. Also, horrifying dolphin thing. Fuck, gross. Yeah, Colin makes a good point. Language, I don't know. It's weird and complicated. I'm gonna take some Rad-X before I jump in this disgusting sludge. Take your Rad-X, kids, and also all your other drugs. I mean, that's a good point, Eric. That like, so Eric was saying that story games are games that give you options to take action that are not directly related to my character does this. You're taking kind of a step back. But honestly, that the term is gross. Story game implies that all other games are not about the story when they are. Even games exclusively character focused. Dungeons and Dragons is a story game. We need another better taxonomy for that stuff. Whoa, be vigilant. Communism is coming. Okay, so I want to be... do I still have her note? Trisha's note. Okay, so there's 4-leaf fish packing. There's like a truck, and then some stuff. And I don't know where 1, 2, 3, and what 1, 2, 3, and 4 are, but we're looking for a truck. Let me look at my map here. Do I have an indicator of any kind? No, I just gotta explore. Oh god, the exploration game. Jenny, you should absolutely name your character Communism. That sounds great. I wonder if communism is on the list. I mean, okay, like, in terms of whether a game contains... that's cool. This tripwire cannot be disarmed. Great. In terms of, like, story, whether a game contains story or not, you gotta think about, like, there's sort of two kinds of emerging narrative that happens in play. You see the narrative that's built into the game, right? So, like, let's use Fallout as an example. So, the last time that I played, the narrative was my son was kidnapped out of the vault, my wife was killed, and my character joined the Minutemen to work on getting revenge or finding his son, that stuff, right? So that's the narrative that's built into the game. But the emergent narrative was Adam finds a funny dress for his character and tries to play the game as this like dress-wearing wasteland psychopath, right? So the developing character as we play is also a form of narrative, right? That second form of narrative is often what comes up in like board games, for example, where you're like, all right, I'm playing as a particular faction. Let's say we're playing, let's say we're playing the, I don't know, we're playing Cuba Libre. It's a board game about the Cuban Revolution, and I'm playing the communists, and you're playing the Americans, and the emergent narrative, turn by turn, isn't built into the game. It's something that we learn as we play. So I think that that's the trick, right? In determining whether, in calling a game a story game or not, or calling it a story-focused game. It's hard because a lot of the story that comes out in gameplay is emergent and not inherent. Can I not have this, like, intense battle music anymore, please? I've killed all the... Thank you. Killed all the ghouls. Yes! Taking them fusion cores. I like how I get all excited every time I get a fusion core, but I never wear my power armor. Oh, you never wear that power armor I got you for your birthday? Psych Skelly. Welcome back. Oh, an expert safe. Right, yeah, Triss brings up a great point, that often the proper narrative in, oh my god, missiles. The sort of proper narrative that we see in a, an MMO gets totally ignored. Like, basically everyone I know just blasts through quest text. I can just barely remember what the Defias quest line was about. But I do remember a bunch of emergent stuff from when my, like my guild took on various raid bosses, right? Like the emergent narrative of your character and like when you got certain gear and what experiences that character kind of underwent that builds them up. Like that's emergent gameplay, and that happens a lot in MMOs. I think it's fascinating. I think people, people develop patterns. A story is just a pattern, right? A story is what happened to these characters in what order. And I think people expressly go looking for that stuff. And games get designed around it, successfully or unsuccessfully. Yeah, fuck it, I'll just walk right through that thing. Okay, oh, maybe they were showing, I think that this thing is showing where the tripwires are. Right? Let me take a look. Miscellaneous. Yeah, the laser tripwires. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I wonder what they do. Huh. Yeah, let's go inside. I feel like maybe I have to trip them in order, but that doesn't seem right necessarily. So to go back to the whole fucking thing, way back when we started talking about this, I think that Fallout is a game that combines FPS elements with RPG elements, and is a hybrid of both. I think that's real. I think that's you can't call it one or the other exclusively. You might be able to call it a role-playing game because it's that, but it's also a shooter within being a role-playing game. But it's not the only one by a long shot. Oh, these ghouls are gross. I sort of love it, actually.
I think this is a common sight. What the heck?
This is why I like when people further taxonomize stuff, when then they're like, it's a turn-based role-playing game in the style of Baldur's Gate. Then I'm like, well, fuck, I know exactly what that game is like. But if someone's like, it's a role-playing game, I'm like, awesome, thank you for no information. Also, this terminal is all fucked up. How do I hack it? Here we go. Select a potential password with mouth 1. Oh, okay. Round. Round has no characters. Clips has 1. Turns? Nope. Using? Nah, locked out. Shit. Can I try again? No, the terminal locked me out. Fuck. It'll reset in 10 seconds. Okay, well let's just dick around in here for a few minutes. Also, chill music. Chill. Oh god, yes. Superman brings up a great point. Music is not... Ugh, boy. Music is not a place to look for an easier taxonomy. I like heavy metal music. That is a terrible thing to say, because I actually only like some heavy metal music, and in only some bands. Okay, let me try this again. Okay, so... Witch has 1 character. Types also has 1 character. Neither of them have anything in common. Squad has 0. No. Okay, maybe I'm getting this wrong. Cuz it's like, yeah, it tells you how many characters match, right? Oh, it's not that I don't like the battle music, the battle is over. There we go. It just the game did not realize that. Oh, it was trick? Okay, how do I do this? Let's help me figure this out. You can remove the duds by finding sign chains that start and end with the same bracket. Oh, it's character and position? Hmm. Okay. Clicking stuff between brackets. And restore tries by clearing stuff in between. Huh. Okay, let's try this. Works has 2 characters. Okay. This is the kind of puzzle I'm not very good at, but let's take a look. Okay, Works has 2 characters. Discs also has 2, a K and an S. Wait, none? Okay, so it's not K or S. So I'm looking for W, O, or R. What else has W, O, and R? Am I doing it right? Is that how that works? I don't see any other words that have that, though. There's 2. Yeah, O and W are the 2. Nice. Oh, no, it was O and R, not W. Right, okay. Perfect. Okay, Protectrons. Choose personality mode. Subway steward, law enforcement, fire brigadier, medical responder. Okay, set them to medical responders. Activate units. Okay, alright, so now they're walking around in medic mode. And let's unlock all the doors. Yeah. Hello, medical Protectron.
Remain calm if you are injured.
Yeah, fix me.
Please remain calm if you are injured.
What a dick. useless ass robot. Some Radaway, that's good. Oh, I only have 30 shots for this gun. Let me switch to something I have a little bit more ammo for. Safe.
That about takes care of that.
Got it.
Wow, bunch of whatever. Hey, fucker. Yes. So much cola. Okay. Wow, there's a lot of locked stuff in here. Well, locked.
Yes.
Sir, I imagine this place is giving the old nostrils quite the wake up.
Yes, my nostrils are quite awake. You're right. Party skeleton. He's so stoked. Alright, so this is not the area where the drug stash is.
Subject appears to be deceased.
Okay, good. Yep. Accurate assessment, robot. I wonder what those things do when I hit them. Okay, so here's the truck. Alright, let's try to figure out this puzzle. So, I have a note that tells me... Alright, so there's one to the side of this truck. Then 2 is past 4. I don't know, maybe maybe this isn't even a puzzle at all. 3 appears to be the one by the door. 5 is upstairs. I don't know, I feel like there's gotta be something with these, like, these lasers. So, okay, so this is the first, this is number 1. Okay, so that's 1. And then 2, where's number 2? Two is past this one on the right. So I gotta get past that one without touching it. Can I sneak under it? No. Okay. Alright. Let's do this again. So 1, And then we gotta go around to get to number 2. I don't know. This may not even be the solution to the thing. I might do them all in order and then it won't do anything, but let's find out. Okay. And then this one is number 2. Okay. And then 3 is the one by the door. So I go back the way I came. Kuka, I can't tell if you're being sarcastic or not. Nope. Okay, so this one's number 3. Can I get around once I've hit it? Okay, 3. And then 4. 4 is the other one by the truck. No, what happened? What? I heard it click. Did I? Ah, I hit that one. Fuck. Wait, it's off now? That's confusing. What the shit? I don't know. Wow, what am I? I'm doing this. I gotta be doing this wrong. Yeah, I hit number 1, but now number 1 is turned off. How does this even work? Oh yeah, now it's back on. Yeah, they must be like doing something, or the camera is all weird. Yeah, okay. Let me try it again. Okay, so where's number 1 again? So 1 is off now. Where's 2 again? Oh, 2 is the far away one. Okay, so let's go hit number 2. What's up, LZT? How you doing, man? Okay, so 2 is up here. Three is the one by the door. Oh shit! Oh shit! Nice. Got him. Wait, what the fuck? What's shooting at me? Oh, it's shooting me way the fuck over there. I don't want to fight Supermans, I want to do the puzzle. right in the neck. Alright, wake up, Codsworth. You had your nap. Oh, good. Well, I got nuclear material out of that fight, so that's worth something. Alright, so that was 2. So now 3, I gotta go back. 3 is by the door.
That's enough, eh? That won't do. Not at all.
Shut up, Codpiece. So that's 3. 4 is the one up at the front of the truck. See, now 1 is on again. Okay. I'm confused. Let's go hit 4, see what happens. This is all probably, like... Cool. This is all probably not what I need to do, but whatever. Okay, that's 4. And then 5 is upstairs. Oh, it might be timed. You're right. Oh, that's a good point. I bet I get a bunch of experience for this shit. Alright, and the 5th one, just so that we know when we come back, so we'll redo it, because yeah, there might be a time limit. Because I want to know where it is. Where the fuck is the 5th one? Creepy bird. Okay, it's not up here. It is... Oh, it's on the stairs? Where? I didn't see it. Over the door. Let me see. Right, yeah, like over the front door. So...
He's doing housework.
Is the front door here? Yeah. Hey, a terminal. I looked right at it. But, oh, it's here. Okay, so on the stairs. Okay. Alright, let's do it. Okay. So that's number 5. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to tell Codsworth to stay downstairs while I run around and do this. It must be that it's timed. Okay. Alright, we're putting a lot of time and energy into this shit. Yeah, we'll try this. We got time. Alright, Codsworth, where the fuck are you, man? Okay, and I'm gonna make a quick note. Yeah, if you can hack the terminal, you probably don't have to run around and do all this bullshit. I make a quick note of where each one is. So, close truck. Far ladder, cab of truck, door. No, it's door, cab of truck, up above. So door, cab, above. Okay. Let's see if we can do it, shall we? Okay, now 1 is off. Oh, probably because I started the timer. Because it's the first one that I hit. Got it. Okay, so let's do a practice run. 1. And then 2. Can I crawl under this one? No. Okay, they can't be crawled under. Okay, well, I'll get Codsworth to stay right here, dude.
Hey,
Something you need, sir?
wait there.
My pleasure.
Okay. Okay, so 1. I jump this fence? Yeah, I can. 2. 3 is by the door.
Right, sir.
Come on.
Presently, sir.
Shut up, Codsworth.
Nothing would please me more.
Is he just standing there saying affirmative stuff to me a bunch? So this is 3. And then 4 is the
On it.
one by the cab. 4, yeah, they're all turning off. So 5 is upstairs.
Away, sir.
Oh my god. Get up the fucking stairs. Yes! Fucking sweet, I did it! Woo! It wasn't a total waste of time. I figured out a puzzle in a video game, everybody. I'm gonna save. Alright, I'm gonna celebrate by getting a snack because I am hungry. And eating is important to keep your body from dying. So maybe you should go get a snack too. And we'll come back and we'll hang out and we'll get some drugs. We're gonna go into the chem lab. So stick around. Be right back.